name's Abby. We're going to be going through a Hatha yoga class today. Does anyone have any injuries or things they need to be aware of before we start? No? All right, awesome. So we are going to get started in child's pose. It's where we're going to start today. So bring your toes together and your knees to the wide part of your mat. You can shift your hips back over your heels and extend your hands out in front and allowing your forehead to rest on the mat. And just finding our breath here as we enter into our practice today. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Focusing on our deep breaths. And taking some time to just scan your body, see if there's any areas of tension that you would like to address today. Keeping in mind that this is your practice. And if anything brings discomfort, we can modify. You can take time to just rest here in child's pose at any time throughout the class. And while we're here, thinking about the intention that you'd like to set for your practice today, whether you're looking for flexibility, you're looking for positivity, changing your emotion, changing something within your body, just set that for yourself at this moment. Noticing that your breath has slowed. We'll take an inhale here together. And on the exhale, slowly walking your hands over towards the left side of your mat. Feeling the stretch through the right side body. Just holding here for a moment. We'll inhale here as we begin to walk our hands back to center. And on the exhale, walking our hands off to the other side. Take one more breath here. And on your next inhale, slowly begin to walk your hands back to center. And then gently begin to walk your hands in towards yourself, bringing yourself up into a tabletop position. With our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees below the hips, keeping a neutral spine here. We're going to begin balancing table. With that, we're going to take our right hand and extend it out in front of us, and taking our left foot and extending it behind. We're gonna hold here, engaging through the core, finding your breath. Grounding down through the fingertips. We'll find one more breath here. We'll inhale and exhale as we allow our hand and our knee to return to the mat. We're going to switch to the other side. We'll extend the left arm forward and the right foot back, finding a nice straight line. The energy moving out of our fingertips, out of the bottoms of our feet. Keeping the core engaged. Good, we'll take one more breath here. We'll inhale and exhale as we release back down onto the mat. Once again, making sure that our hands and our wrists are below our shoulders, knees below our hips. We're gonna find our cat-cow. On the inhale, we're gonna drop the belly, pointing the tailbone up towards the sky, shifting our gaze upwards. And on the exhale, rounding through the back, pressing through the hands, shifting the gaze to between the knees. Inhale as we move into our cat. And exhale. And you can follow your own breath here as you move through cat-cow. Engaging the core as you round through the back and tuck the tailbone. Aligning your movements with your breath. Feeling your muscles start to warm up. And prepare for your practice. Take one more at your own pace. And on your next inhale, finding a neutral spine once more. We'll inhale here. We'll bring our toes once again together behind us, taking our knees out nice and wide, sending our hips back into child's pose once more, reaching our fingertips forward and finding a few breaths here. Rolling your head back and forth, giving your forehead a little bit of a massage if that feels good for your body. Finding one more breath here. Wonderful. On your next inhale, slowly beginning to walk your hands towards you. Coming up once again into tabletop, and from here, crossing your ankles behind you, we're going to shift back onto our sits bones and bring the soles of our feet together on the mat. You can adjust your feet, whatever feels comfortable for you, whether you want them closer, farther away. We'll take our pointer finger and our middle finger, looping them either around your big toe, or you can interlace your fingers over your toes here. We're gonna keep a long, tall spine here. We'll inhale and exhale as we gently lean forward, feeling the stretch through our inner thighs and our groin. while at the same time thinking about pressing our knees down towards the mat. Finding a nice stretch here. Good, reaching up through the crown of the head, keeping the spine long as we come forward. With each exhale, stretching a little bit deeper into this pose. Good, we'll take one more deep breath here. And on the next inhale, we'll gently let ourselves come back up, taking our hands on the outside of our knees. We'll bring them in together. We're going to cross our ankles once more, this time coming up over our knees. Planting our hands on our mat, keeping the fingers nice and wide. From here, we're going to tuck our toes, take our hips up and back, finding downward dog. While we're here, we have a couple of options. If you would like, you can widen your downward dog stance. If your hamstrings and calves are feeling tight, also you can put a slight bend in the knees if that feels better for you. We can find our breath here, drawing the shoulders away from the ears and lengthening through the spine. You can pedal your feet out here if you would like, if it's comfortable for you and your body. Again, if at any time any of these poses start to feel like too much, you can always return to child's pose and allow yourself to rest. We'll inhale here and exhale as we bend the knees, shifting our gaze to the top of the mat. From here, we can step or hop ourselves to the top of the mat, finding ourselves in forward fold. With forward fold, you can also put a slight bend in the knees if your hamstrings are feeling too tight. We're going to inhale as we lift halfway, elongating through the spine, and exhale as we find forward fold once again. Inhale as we bring our arms all the way up overhead. And exhale as we find forward fold. Inhale as we step our feet back, flowing through chaturanga, bringing our chest down to the mat, keeping our elbows in close by our bodies. And inhale as we press up into cobra. Breathe here. Exhale. And inhale as we tuck the toes, lifting the hips up and back, finding our downward dog once again. We're going to move through that flow one more time, bending through the knees, shifting our gaze forward, stepping or hopping ourselves to the top of the mat, finding forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms come all the way up overhead. And exhale as we come to forward fold. Inhale, stepping the feet back, flowing through chaturanga. And exhale as we press up into upward dog or cobra. Inhale as we tuck the toes, once again finding downward dog here. We'll take a breath here. And on the exhale, we're going to drop to our knees onto the mat. We're going to walk our hands slightly forward as we find our cobra pose. So shifting our hips down, keeping our hands below our shoulders, dropping the hips. Finding a full cobra here, or if it's more comfortable, you can bend through the elbows, finding baby cobra and just lifting gently off the mat. You can adjust your hands as you need to. Finding your breath here, breathing into the low back. We'll inhale and exhale as we shift the hips back, engaging through the core, sitting back into child's pose. Breathe in here. We'll inhale and exhale as we gently pull ourselves forward. Once again, walking our hands forward onto the mat, shifting our hips down, finding our cobra once more. Whichever is more comfortable, whether we're here or whether we are at baby cobra. Engaging through the muscles of the mid-back. Drawing the shoulders down and back, away from the ears. We'll take another breath here. And on your next exhale, engaging through the core, shifting the hips back into child's pose. Walking the fingertips as far forward as you can, feeling the stretch through the shoulders. Wonderful. On the next inhale, gently drawing ourselves up. Walking our hands to the top of the mat. This time we are going to tuck the toes, lifting the hips up and back, finding our downward dog, lengthening through the spine, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. We'll find a few breaths here. We'll inhale. Exhale as we bend through the knees, shifting our gaze forward, hopping or stepping ourselves to the top of the mat, finding forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale as we fold forward. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up overhead. Exhale as we come down to forward fold. Inhale as we step our feet back, moving through chaturanga. And exhale as we find upward facing dog or cobra. And on the inhale, tucking the toes, bringing the hips up towards the sky, finding downward dog. We'll inhale here, and on this inhale, we're going to raise our right leg up, finding three-legged dog here. On the exhale, we're going to shift our weight forward, bringing the knee into the chest, and planting that foot right between our hands. We'll take a breath here, opening the chest to the front. On the next inhale, pressing up through that foot, bring our arms up overhead, finding our crescent lunge here. Making sure that our knee is tracking over our ankle. Fingers either reaching up to the sky, or you can find them here at heart center. Wonderful. We'll inhale and exhale as we bring our hands down to frame the foot. Inhale as we step the foot back, finding downward dog. We'll inhale. This time the left foot comes up, finding three-legged dog here. Exhale as we shift our weight forward, bringing the knee to the chest, stepping the foot between the hands. We'll take a breath here. And on the next inhale, pressing through the foot, arms coming up overhead, adjusting your stance as you need to. And finding our breath here. Engaging through the core. We'll inhale and exhale as we release the arms once again to frame the foot, stepping back into our downward facing dog. We'll take an inhale, exhale as we bend through the knees, shift our gaze forward, step or hop to the top of the mat into forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift, and exhale into forward fold. Inhale, arms come up overhead. And exhale into forward fold. Inhale, stepping the feet back. Bring the chest to the floor. And exhale as we press the chest up. Inhale, tucking the toes. Bring the hips up and back, finding downward dog. We'll inhale here. And exhale as we gently drop the knees onto the mat, taking them nice and wide. Bring the toes in together, finding child's pose here. And allowing your body to relax. If you would like here in child's pose, you can also bring your arms to the sides of your body instead of out in front. Good, we'll take one more breath here. And on the next inhale, gently walking our hands towards us, finding ourselves in tabletop, walking our hands slightly out in front of us, extending through the fingers. We'll tuck the toes, bringing the hips up towards the sky, finding downward dog. Inhale here. Exhale as we bend through the knees, looking forward, stepping or hopping ourselves to the top of the mat. We'll inhale, halfway lift, and exhale down into our forward fold. Inhale as the arms come all the way up overhead. And exhale as we fold forward. Inhale, stepping our feet back, flowing down onto our mat. And exhale as we gently press the chest up. And inhale, tucking the toes, bringing the hips up into our downward dog. We'll inhale, shifting our weight forward into a plank here. And on the exhale, gently allowing ourselves to come down onto the mat, placing our hands at our sides with our palms facing up. We're going to be going into our locust pose. We'll inhale here, and on the exhale, we want to bring the shoulder blades together, lifting the chest up off the mat. And as if our hands are trying to grab a ball behind us. We're also going to engage through the hamstrings and the glutes, lifting here, engaging through the back. Wonderful, finding that breath. We'll take one more breath here. And exhale as we gently come down onto the mat. We'll bring our hands right next to our chest. We'll inhale as we come up, tucking the toes, bring the hips up and back. We'll inhale. On the exhale, this time just walking the feet to the top of the mat. Finding forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, extending long through the back. And exhale as we come forward. Inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale as we fold forward. Inhale, stepping the feet back. Coming through chaturanga. And exhale, pressing the chest up. Inhale, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up and back. Inhale. Exhale, shifting the weight forward over the hands. Gently letting our bodies come down onto the mat. We're going through our locust pose one more time, taking our hands behind us. We'll inhale here. And exhale as we lift the chest and the legs off the mat. Trying to bring our hands together like we're holding a ball behind us. Wonderful. Just a couple more breaths. Strengthening through the back. Inhale. And exhale as we relax down onto the mat. We'll take both arms and stack them in front of us, making a pillow to just rest your head on. Allow your body to just rest here for a moment. Finding that breath once again, slowing it down. We'll inhale and exhale as we bring our hands next to our chest, gently pressing up, finding downward dog once more. Inhale here, and exhale as we gently walk our feet forward, finding forward fold, and we're just gonna hold here. We're not gonna flow through it. In your forward fold, you can bend your knees slightly. If you have tight hamstrings, if you're looking for more of a stretch, you can reach behind your ankles and bring yourself in even a little bit deeper into this stretch. Relaxing the neck. With each exhale, stretching a little bit deeper, relaxing more into this pose. We'll inhale and exhale as we slowly roll vertebrae by vertebrae into a standing position. Rolling the shoulders down and back. We'll take an inhale and exhale as we step our left foot behind us. We're going to drop that heel so that our toes are pointing towards the long end of the mat. We're going to take our other toes to match so that our feet are about 2, 3, 4 feet apart, whatever's comfortable for you. We'll take an inhale as the hands come to the hips. Take an inhale here and exhale as we begin to hinge forward at the hips. Keeping the back long and flat. We'll inhale here and exhale as we release the arms down onto the mat, finding our wide-legged forward fold. You can adjust your feet if you need to. If you'd like a deeper stretch, you can take your hands and start to reach in between your legs behind you, gently pulling yourself down even farther. Once again, relaxing through the neck. Take just a couple more breaths here. We'll take an inhale and exhale as we begin to walk our hands over towards the short end of the mat, turning our toes to the front of the mat and bringing our back foot to meet at the top of the mat. We'll find our forward fold here. We'll inhale as we lift halfway and exhale into forward fold. Inhale as we bring the arms up overhead and exhaling into forward fold. Inhale, you can step your feet back, bringing the body down onto the mat. And exhale as we press up gently. And on the inhale, tucking the toes, bring the hips up towards the sky into downward dog. We'll inhale here and exhale as we bring the knees down gently onto the mat. We're going to be crossing our ankles behind us once more, shifting over onto our sits bones into our easy pose here. We're going to take an inhale as the arms come up overhead. And on the exhale, the right hand will come to the left knee and the left arm will come behind us, finding a spinal twist. You can shift your gaze over the back shoulder, finding a stretch here. Keeping the spine tall. And with each exhale, finding a little bit deeper stretch. The hard work of the class is done. Now your body can begin to relax. One more breath. On the next inhale, we'll bring the arms back up overhead, finding center. And exhale as we twist off to the opposite side. Shifting our gaze over the back shoulder. We'll find one more breath. And on the inhale, coming back to center, arms coming up overhead. We're gonna do the same thing, back to the first side, right hand on the left knee, left arm behind us as we twist. Breathing into the spine. On the next inhale, bring the arms up overhead, finding center. And exhale, off to the opposite side. One more breath. We'll inhale, bring the arms up overhead, and bring the hands down onto our knees. We'll bring the soles of our feet together once more, returning to our bound angle pose. Once again, either interlacing the fingers over your toes or grabbing onto the big toe. Nice tall spine. We'll inhale and exhale as we gently pull ourselves forward. Relaxing the knees off to the side. And taking notice of your body. Maybe this stretch feels a little bit easier than it did at the beginning of class. Maybe it feels different. We'll find one more breath here. We'll inhale and exhale as we gently come up. Once again, bringing our hands to the outside of the knees as we fold them in together. We're going to scoot forward onto our mat and then gently rolling ourselves slowly down onto our mat, keeping the knees bent and the feet planted. With our right leg, we're going to cross that ankle over the left knee and then bring the left leg in towards our chest. Perfect. You can either grab right below the quad or around the shin if you want a little bit deeper stretch. And if you would like more of a stretch here, you can gently press your right knee farther to the outside. Noticing what's tight here and focusing your breath into those muscles. We'll take one more breath. And on the next exhale, gently releasing your legs back down, your feet back down onto the mat. We'll take an inhale here and exhale, this time crossing the left ankle over the right thigh and then pulling the right leg in towards the chest. One side may feel different than the other. You might notice that one side is tighter. Taking a couple more breaths here. And on the next exhale, gently releasing your legs back down onto the mat. We'll take an inhale. And on the exhale, you can bring your knees up to 90 degrees, taking your arms out to the sides into a T shape, out to the side of you, being conscious of your neighbor. We'll take an inhale here, and exhale as you gently release the knees off to the right side, and shifting your gaze over the left fingertips. Finding a spinal twist here. Taking big, deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. We'll take an inhale here, and exhale as we gently bring the knees back up to center. We'll inhale, and on the exhale, gently dropping the knees off to the opposite side, shifting your gaze over the right fingertips. Beautiful, just a couple more breaths. We'll inhale and exhale as we gently bring the legs back up to center and placing the feet back down onto the mat. We'll bring our hands to our sides with the palms facing the mat. We're going to take an inhale here, and on the exhale, pressing through the heels and lifting the hips up towards the sky, finding our bridge pose. Keeping the knees in close together. If you'd like to make this a bound pose, we can interlace our fingers beneath us, rounding our shoulders down and back beneath us as well, opening up through the heart. Adjusting your feet if you need to, either closer or farther from you, whatever your body needs. We'll find one more breath. And on your next exhale, releasing the fingers and gently allowing the hips to return to the mat. From here, we can extend the legs out in front of us, turning the palms up towards the sky, allowing our feet to fall out to the sides, and finding a position that's comfortable for you for Tavasana. Taking a scan of your body, noticing how it feels. If there's any more tension, if there's any discomfort. Noticing the good things, what feels better, more relaxed. And checking in with your emotions. Noticing if there's any negative thoughts and releasing those with each exhale. Noticing if you feel positivity, joy, love, and naming what you feel. And keeping that emotion in your heart as you go through the rest of the day. And letting that emotion show to others like a light coming right out of your heart and into the world as you live your life. focusing back onto your breath. The gentle rise and fall of your chest. The inhale and exhale through your nose. Focusing on your breath and removing any thoughts that might come into your mind at this time. As we gently begin to bring our minds back to the present, you can start by wiggling your fingers and your toes, shaking your head back and forth gently, reaching your arms up overhead for a nice big stretch. And when you're ready, rolling off to your favorite side gently and just staying there for a moment. And when your body feels ready, gently pressing yourself up into a seated position. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed or open, whatever is more comfortable for you. We'll take an inhale as we bring the arms up overhead. Bringing them back down to our sides on the exhale. We'll take an inhale once more, arms up overhead. And exhale as they come to heart center. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. How do we feel?
Good.
A little toasty, I'm sure.
I'm good.
No?
Yeah,
Nice.
good.
Oh man, I was sweating.